Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other has to say. Reminiscing this and that and having such a good time. Oodle-lolly, golly, what a day. Never ever thinking there was danger in the water they were drinking, they just guzzled it down. Never dreaming that a scheming sheriff and his posse was watching them and gathering around. Robin Hood and Little John running through the forest, jumping fences, dodging trees and trying to get away. Contemplating nothing but escape and finally making it. Oodle-lolly, golly, what a day. Oodle-lolly, golly, what a day.
For film, television, and advertising, he created magical moments between the animals and the actors.
Movies you know, Ace Ventura, Amazing Animal Adventure.
Now keep in mind, it takes thousands of hours to build these relationships of confidence.
He is cute.
Go ahead, guys. Don't be shy. Go well, get Zeus, and this is Sinbad. These boys grew so big that they are actually in the Guinness Book of World Records 2006, 2014, and 2017 as the world's largest big cats. That brave guy holding the end of the leash is Cody Antle, that is Doc Antle's son. That gets his good looks from both his mom and his dad. That tawny brown coloration you see on him, he gets from, of course, his father the lion. But as he walks by, you get a closer look, you'll see that he does have wing stripes. He gets those from his mother the tiger. Lighter share other characteristics of their parents as well. Like their lion father, they are very social and fast, but unlike their lion father, not quite aggressive. The lions bite to the death to defend their pride and territory. Thank you very much, Progeny. Thank you. This is all our next ambassador. Well, I love this guy, but I will not play games with him. He is such a cheetah. First one's the best. Cheetah is built for speed. A spotted cat with the body of a greyhound, and the fastest facet of his anatomy is home served only one purpose: the chase. This is Ramesses the cheetah. He's big cats, but cheetahs are considered to be lesser cats. One big difference between the two, Ramesses is going to walk by. He's going to come very close to the front of the tent. So remember, guys, don't reach out and touch him. Don't stand up or move around. He's got a very good up-close look at this handsome man. Oh, what a good boy. We'll see if he wants to make a couple stops for you. Cheetahs are an endangered species that are still in great turmoil from farmers. If a farmer in Africa sees a cheetah on his property and believes that one of his animals is in danger, he is allowed to destroy the cheetah. So we help support a program that puts dogs on those farms to protect the livestock. A cheetah's not going to fight a big barking dog, neither will any other predator. This way we save the herd and the precious few cheetahs left in the wild. Ramesses.
I'm gonna show off to you guys how cute I am. Excuse me. Here. Yours is
This one's not graceful.
This is a snow white Bengal tiger. Some call it the original or purest form of tiger.
No tiger over there for you.
Don't eat him. He's not on the menu. You're not allowed to autograph those legs. Oh, I want to give him pieces. Yeah.
Hold on, let me do it
He doesn't like what's going on, you just cover his eyes actually. And then he starts purring.
You better do it.
Oh, yeah.
My hat.
I'm in baby mode now. Oh, I can't sleep.
Now, do you do anything with her paw? Tigers and her trying to mouth ranges. We're talking to you.
Quite seem to grow into this.
The only time they ever run at top speed in the wild is when they are on.
Brought her out here and scrubbed her up, wiped off her tusks, and now she thinks she needs decoration time. Bubbles has a... It starts to make noise, but that's her once every day, day after day. Now for several years is old school Hawaiian punch. Look at that funny red stuff right there, right? That's a little sip, kind of a magic straw. I was gotta go way down the hatch there. See, squirt it down. This doesn't go all the way up, so it's a halfway straw. She doesn't know not to slurp with that straw all the time. Sometimes she gets some mean slurping going on there. Yeah, there it is. When she does that in a restaurant, everybody turns around, points at her. She's slurping with her straw. Huh? Yeah. She wants every drop a lot of the time. She'll go in and check it out. She's really looking for that extra sugar and flavor crystals on the bottom. She'll have to think about it. She wants to savor the flavor there, make it work just right for her. She can vacuum it dry if she wants. You didn't get it for 20 hours a day. Most of the day she is eating. She eats 4 to 5. She'll do 20 or 30 of those, and then she moves on to the next meal. She has an enormous set of giant grinding molars. Good girl. She'll just walk along and show you those great big flat teeth in there. Yeah. Taste that. Yeah. You know, Bubbles right now is getting that hot on her tongue. She's feeling the burn right now. Yeah. Oh, I got that hot burn. So come on, keep coming. I got some more left. Come here. Come here. Yeah, they want to see your teeth down there. Good girl. Okay, there you go. That's a good girl. Yeah. Bubbles loves that intense flavoring. She thinks that it's just going. She will just enjoy a single candy for 10 minutes. When there's a lot of people out, she does it a little bit slower. A lot of the time, that red hot fireball will get her going. Bubbles has left the building. She's going to Candyland. Subtly closed. She's not looking at any of us anymore. She's kind of lost it. That was a quick one. She'll probably jump back to it a little bit. She just gets so enthralled in that little flavor in her tongue. That's the favorite thing that she has. That's a pretty good sized one right there. They're shrinking this time of year. All the melons start to get littler. That one's going to be right on the edge, whether or not. Don't get a hold of that. Hopefully we won't see any Gallagher. We'll just see a clean clip. I hope she keeps it out there in her lips. Well, you got a hold of it. Whoa! In a couple of years. That's a slippery melon. She's all just popping apart. Oh, that's still some yummy stuff. Look at her little face though right now. I think she's smiling right now. She's got those little cheeks all over. 10 watermelons and she will eat 10 in a row. She thinks they're delicious. She eats the first 3 pretty quick and then she'll kind of slow down and savor them throughout the day.
Incredible story pattern. Something we like to call God's greatest paint job. Not all coloration of tiger is used. Maybe now that they're closer to the glass, you can see why.
This is Rob Johnson from the Rare Species Fund. I'm here at the Tigers Preserve in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, the Rare Species Fund participates in wildlife conservation projects all over the world. Now, one of our favorite ways to contribute is to talk to the researchers who are doing the work and find out the equipment that they need and they cannot necessarily get in the field. So as you can see here, we've got all kinds of scientific equipment. There's more than 2,000 different test tubes for samples. There's a laptop computer, there's cameras, there's a mixer for those test tubes, and you can do something as easy and simple as getting little light bulbs. Those are for the microscopes, and it doesn't matter if it's $2 or $3. If you're out in the middle of the jungle and you can't get it, you can't do your work. So we have all of this equipment that the Rare Species Fund is contributing, and we're actually getting ready to pack it up. We are going to fly to Uganda, and we are going to work with an organization that is helping to save one of the last populations of wild mountain gorillas. As you can imagine, there is no direct flight to get from South Carolina to the jungles of Uganda. It is going to be a very long, arduous journey. In the past 2 days, I've already taken 2 flights, one from South Carolina to New York City, and then about a 16-hour flight from New York to South Africa. And actually, that's where I am right now. I'm sitting at the Johannesburg airport. I'm waiting for my next flight to go to Kigali, Rwanda. Now that I've reached Uganda, it's time to grab the gear and hit the road. My guide Abe is waiting outside with a big 4-wheel drive Land Rover. We've got about a 2.5-hour journey to the border of Uganda, and from there, it's about 6 hours of very hard roads. We're going to be making our way through the windy Impenetrable National Park. The name Impenetrable Forest is very appropriate. This place has some of the steepest slopes with some of the densest vegetation on the planet. It has taken us more than 3.5 hours to drive only about 45 miles. The roads offer a very bumpy ride, to say the least, but we're making our way very slowly, and shortly we'll be arriving in the village of Buhoma, which is where we find the research station for Conservation Through Public Health, or CTPH. This is the gorilla conservation group that we're working with, and we will be dropping the gear off to. Before I meet with Stephen Rubanga, the co-founder of CTPH, I want to get a first-hand idea of what all of the work is about. I'm scheduled to meet with some Ugandan Wildlife Authority officials at the Bwindi National Park headquarters. From there, we will travel with the rangers into the Impenetrable Forest to see in person some of the world's last remaining mountain gorillas. Finding the gorillas is not always an easy task and can require a healthy amount of stamina. Gorilla movements are far from predictable and rely heavily on their pursuit of food. In order to find the gorillas, the Ugandan Wildlife Authority employs the assistance of trackers. Using their expert forest knowledge, these trackers are able to discover the new position of the gorilla family. Staying in radio contact, our group meets up with the trackers in time to find the gorillas enjoying a tasty lunch. Mountain gorillas are the largest of all the gorillas and the most endangered. Currently, only about 800 mountain gorillas exist, and they can only be found in 3 different countries: Rwanda, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Over the years, all of these countries have experienced widespread war and the destruction of much of their local wildlife. While the political situation in the Congo is still a bit tenuous, the governmental stability of both Rwanda and Uganda has helped save the mountain gorilla and the unique habitats they need to survive. One of the biggest factors in contributing to the protection of mountain gorillas is their value in tourism. The tourist permit to even set foot into gorilla territory ranges from $500 to $750 per person per day. These fees not only help keep and protect the integrities of the national park, they help employ local villagers, and they contribute up to 20% to community betterment projects. All of this equates to one thing: protecting the gorillas. Now, this approach has been so successful that not only is the mountain gorilla population not in decline, we're seeing a very slow but very steady increase in gorilla numbers. Seeing these gorillas firsthand is a very humbling and an awe-inspiring experience, and it gives me a better idea of exactly what it is that we're trying so hard to protect. For now, though, it's time to make our descent back to the base of the mountain to meet with CTPH officials and learn how the Rare Species Fund can help in this very important conservation effort.
So we're riding along with Stephen. We're going to the CTPH Field Center. We're going to go see all the good work that they're doing with the gorillas and with the local people, the local villages. Our land, but so I've made it to Bwindi, I've made it to Uganda, and I've met with Stephen here from CTPH, and we're so very excited to get this equipment all the way from America and get it into this man's hands. We got a lot of great work that's going to happen.
Yes, thank you very much, Robert Johnson, for your care, for your commitment. We thought what we were talking with you on email was not going to materialize the same I've seen it right now. You have not known me, but we knew ourselves in the mist.
In the mist.
But right now I can see the real Robert Johnson, who traveled all long way from the States to Uganda, and particularly to Bwindi, and is here with us at Gorilla Research Place from the Rare Species Fund, who donated all this fund and brought us all this equipment, and it is going to help to improve our routine work.
Stepping into the CTPH Gorilla Research Clinic, I see how much these people care about the gorillas and for their local communities. Because of tourism, we already know that gorillas are finally getting their long-deserved protection from poaching and from habitat eradication. We do see another problem, however. Because of their similarity to humans, gorillas are susceptible to many of the same diseases. If you consider that mountain gorillas are living in close proximity and sharing territory with many low-income villages in one of the poorest countries in the world, we will see that the potential for a disaster is not too far away. This is where conservation through public health steps in. Not only do they monitor the health of the gorillas, they monitor the health of the local people and the health of their livestock. By monitoring the distribution of illness amongst these three groups, CTPH maintains a better understanding of disease communicability and allows them to establish preventative measures ensuring everyone's health and safety. CTPH is a very heavily community-based organization. A large amount of their work involves direct contact with local villagers, educating them about proper hygiene, livestock management, and disease prevention, ultimately stopping the problem at the source.
We are doing both routine and research, especially with the gorilla we have right now. For the last 10 years, we have collected about 6,000 to 7,000 gorilla samples And we have been analyzing them using microscopically alone for parasites. But right now, with the equipment he has brought, we are going to extend it to protozoa. We want to look at protozoa in gorillas, in livestock, and in humans. And we are trying now at this material time, especially with the start card he has brought for us. We are going to follow up some of the previous steps we did. We want to see if the infection still exists, if they do, at what perimeter. And this is something which we don't want to leave it now, because today we are trying to look at it, what is tomorrow? So that more scientists who are going to come after us must get some of this information documented, and they continue to follow it. And that is why we are very, very, very much grateful to Robert Johnson from Rare Species Fund, who has managed to get all this fund through the Rare Species Fund and brought us this equipment. This is incredible. Something we have never thought, we never expected, but it is happening. We in conservation through public health, management and staff, especially in gorilla research clinic, we are very grateful.
Welcome to the Rare Species Fund. Over the next few minutes, we will journey behind the scenes with one of the nation's premier wildlife preserves and get a glimpse of the incredible work being done by this internationally recognized conservation organization.
There's something unique about being in the presence of tigers and other beautiful creations of nature. It is an experience that can transform the way you see yourself and the world around you forever.
There it is. Right on the money. What's the LPD, babe? LPD, 41. Okay. Pat. Pat is it. 41. Beautiful. Right out the window. Just like
Earth, an oasis of life adrift in the cosmos. As we float through the vastness of space, we may discover our tiny blue planet is really quite remarkable. As the forces of nature shape our planet, the wind and the rain, so too do they provide life-sustaining resources. From the most simple organisms to incredibly complex species. The interconnected web of life is sustained by a delicate balance. One fluid system. Species depend on each other for survival. As the human population expands, we have an ever greater effect on the natural world. Along with our human intelligence and technological advances comes a responsibility to not only conquer and exploit the natural world, but to care for and cultivate the diversity of life on this planet. Meet Dr. Bhagavan Ansel, founder and director of the Rare Species Fund.
The Rare Species Fund, the RSF, is a grassroots organization that provides financial support and practical training to in situ wildlife conservation initiatives. This direct-to-end user approach places the RSF among the world's most effective conservation agencies.
The Rare Species Fund contributes to those efforts that have shown themselves to be the most viable in real-world conservation of wild species populations.
By putting essential money and equipment directly into the hands of people implementing the programs, the RSF ensures the greatest value for every dollar spent.
For more than 3 decades, the conservation work of the Rare Species Fund has been financially supported by the animal ambassadors of their sister organization, T.I.G.E.R.S.
The Institute for Greatly Endangered and Rare Species is a unique 50-acre wildlife preserve in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Founded in 1982, the preserve and its satellites preservation stations have received upwards of 40 million guests who have had the unique and transformative experience of up-close encounters with some of the world's most endangered species.
The T.I.G.E.R.S Preserve offers visitors a unique way in which to view and experience wildlife. The staff of T.I.G.E.R.S and the Rare Species Fund view conservation as a 2-stage process. Before you can successfully save animals in the wild, you must get people to care about them.
Most people don't have a connection to wildlife, but when they come to the T.I.G.E.R.S Preserve here, they get to meet animal ambassadors like Kriya. They get to meet them up close and uncaged, and that personal connection helps to change their minds and hearts.
By meeting these animal ambassadors up close and in person, not only do millions of people go out into the world with a renewed passion for saving Earth's wild places, they've helped supply the Rare Species Fund with the monetary resources necessary to do so.
In India today, there are millions of people without access to electricity. That means they are literally in the dark every single night. Some of these people have built villages right on the edges of the T.I.G.E.R Preserve. They're going into the T.I.G.E.R Preserve in order to get fuel for light at night. This is a huge issue because hundreds of people are being killed by tigers every single year. So what we are coming up with is a new plan to get solar-powered rechargeable lanterns into those villages so that we can stop people from going into the T.I.G.E.R Preserve. We'll save the tiger and save the people. We have already lit an entire village, and our hope is to light every single village outside of every T.I.G.E.R Preserve.
In South Africa, the Rare Species Fund partnered with Endangered Wildlife Trust. This group works with predator conflict avoidance, with problem animals being relocated. They also work extensively by taking dogs and placing the dogs on farms and into homes where predator conflict is happening. The work that these dogs do of just keeping the predators at bay has changed many of these farmers' opinion and outlook on how to manage the predators like cheetahs, leopards, wild dogs, and hyenas.
Thank you. I myself and the Endangered Wildlife Trust really appreciate the support of the Rare Species Fund and the T.I.G.E.R.S Preserve.
Predator Conservation Trust. The RSF supports the Niassa Carnivore Project, conducted by the PCT inside the Niassa National Reserve, located in northern Mozambique on the border with Tanzania, one of the largest and least developed places in Africa. Despite decades of war and neglect, this extensive wilderness has survived largely intact and is home to the large concentrations of African lions, African wild dogs, leopards, spotted hyenas. With assistance from the RSF, the Niassa Reserve provides protection for these precious natural wild resources via educational programs, political outreach, and radio tracking of individual animals.
Orangutan Foundation International was founded by Dr. Birute Mary Gildecost in 1986. Orangutan Foundation International operates Camp Leakey, an orangutan research area within Tanjung Puting National Park, and the Orangutan Care Center is home to 330 displaced orangutans. By protecting orangutans, these organizations simultaneously protect the habitats of many other endangered species. The RSF is invested in the planting of trees to replenish the rainforest located in central Indonesian Borneo as part of the OFI Forestry Restoration Program.
The orangutan conservation that we're working on with the Orangutan Foundation International was an incredible experience. The environmental reforestation we've been working on helps there a lot. There are also things that needed a lot of work. There were ex-captive sun bears there that needed to be reintroduced. We got radio collars for those bears, portable fencing, and created an entire new way to create new outdoor habitat so that those bears could move back into the wild and thrive. The same thing we've done for many of the orangutans, who are the real full-time work of the Orangutan Foundation International.
Founded in 1996, the Small Wildcat Conservation Foundation works to ensure the survival of small cats and their natural habitats worldwide. The foundation works with local partners in such regions as the Andes, China, Sumatra, and Tibet to identify and mitigate threats to the world's small wild cats, such as the Javan fishing cat and the rare seen desert-dwelling cat. These and the other rare cats are listed as vulnerable and critically endangered on the red list of the IUCN. ISF funds support the IUCN's effort to protect the world's smallest endangered cats.
Most of the science that I do, most of the science that I publish, comes from answering the conservation question. What do we need to do to reduce the threats?
To date, the Rare Species Fund has provided more than $1 million to wildlife conservation projects around the world. Many sponsored projects receive tens of thousands of dollars in support. Key RSF projects have received contributions of more than $100,000, helping to protect endangered wildlife and the places they come from.
In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, we're home to more than 100 endangered animals. We receive more than 3 million visitors annually, and we provide the world's greatest hands-on, educational, interactive wildlife experience. In Carver, Massachusetts, we produce the Tale of the Tiger, a 30-year-old wildlife event with the world's greatest variety of tigers. In Miami, Florida, we operate daily shows at Jungle Island Wildlife Educational Park. It's a park that has an incredible variety of wild animals and a full, fun day of family adventure. Rare Species Fund establishes and maintains environments for both captive and wild elephants. Rare Species Fund is working with the Elephants of Africa Rescue Society, T.I.G.E.R.S, and with elephant programs abroad. We're partnered with International Elephant Foundation and with Save the Elephants, which are both doing phenomenal work helping to save elephants throughout Africa and other areas in the wild. In Zimbabwe, we're working with lion, leopard, and cheetah conservation with Wild Crew. RSF is helping leopard and cheetah relocation in the Montebello World Heritage Site. The RSF is also working directly with the Victoria Falls Anti-Poaching Unit to preserve and secure wildlife within the Zambezi National Park.
Yes, this habitat is invaluable to our operations, and thank you very much.
Yeah, pleasure. The Rare Species Fund has adopted and cares for 7 depredation eagles from Tanzania. Raptor research and conservation is done through RSF contributions to the Raptor Research Foundation.
In South Africa, cheetah conservation and public education is being done with the Cheetah Outreach Group. Black-footed cat research and relocation is happening with the Black-footed Cat Working Group. Black-footed cat reproduction and public education is also happening with the Cat Conservation Trust. In Namibia, we're helping cheetah conservation with the Cheetah Conservation Fund.
Thank you for the work you do to help us save cheetahs.
In Botswana, the RSF is helping to conserve the nation's only viable rhino population by contributing to the Kama Rhino Preserve.
The RSF is contributing to the world's largest system of marine parks through its support of the Australian Marine Conservation Society. By providing funding to the Antarctic and Southern Oceans Coalition, the RSF is helping to study and protect Antarctica's Ross Sea.
In South America, we're working on jaguar conservation, both by working directly with local farmers and by interacting with indigenous tribesmen through a project established by the Smithsonian Institution. The Andean mountain cat conservation with Dr. Jim Sanderson is another project that we're very passionate about in Chile, South America. In Thailand, we worked with tiger conservation in the Khao Yai National Park. We did this with the late Dr. Joe Gale Howard and the Smithsonian Institution. We worked by getting men that live in the area to have a much better idea of what anti-poaching patrols were, helping to supply those guys with equipment and helping to supply training for these same people to recognize what are the signs of poaching. All of this put together made them be able to prevent poaching and do it much more precisely. Asian fishing cat conservation with Fishing Cat Research and Conservation Project in Thailand also has been a favorite of ours. We've lived with many fish cats at the Rare Species Fund Tigers Preserve. Fishing cats are an incredible species, and protecting them along with the waterways of Southeast Asia has become an important project for us.
In addition to the conservation work abroad, the Rare Species Fund also contributes significant effort and resources to projects closer to home. Over the past decade, the RSF has generated over $100,000 to care for unwanted domestic animals through the Humane Society. Our recent partnership with the Myrtle Beach Marathon has proven to be a great success in introducing people to environmental issues while at the same time providing tens of thousands of dollars to support wildlife conservation projects.
The Rare Species Fund, the RSF, was established in 1982 to provide financial support to on-site wildlife conservation projects and wildlife education programs around the globe. The RSF derives its funding from the Institute of Greatly Endangered and Rare Species, or T.I.G.E.R.S, and from underwriting by philanthropic agencies.
The Rare Species Fund reaches out through every possible means to increase public awareness of wildlife conservation. For nearly 3 decades, Rare Species Fund has hosted international wildlife tours, created documentary films shot on location, published acclaimed books of animal friendship for children, and prize-winning wildlife photography.
Every year, the Rare Species Fund conducts safaris to Africa. We take people that we meet throughout the world and bring them into the wild bush. Going into wild Africa gives people the opportunity to see the world as it once was. It inspires people and gets them to think about things in a different way. Every safari we take to Africa is a green safari. We plant speckboom trees in devastated land areas. These trees that we plant give people there jobs to have them plant those trees. These trees create new habitat and allow new areas to flourish and become filled with wildlife themselves. Journeying to Africa has an incredible magical spell that can give people an opportunity and an experience like nothing else on Earth.
An important goal of the Rare Species Fund is to responsibly maintain a viable population of captive wildlife, including the tiger, through the implementation of scientifically based breeding programs. The RSF is working on the Tiger Genome Project in collaboration with the Species Survival Trust, SST, and the Genetics Laboratory of Texas A&M University. The Rare Species Fund also works closely with policymakers to establish environmentally sound legislation concerning wildlife. Animal ambassadors from the Tigers Preserve have met members of Congress during a number of specifically convened meetings within the U.S. Capitol building. Here we see Dr. Antle testifying before a congressional subcommittee about the value of conservation. Working directly with Congressman Henry Brown, the RSF helped with the establishment of a new semi-postal wildlife stamp, which has generated millions of dollars for conservation projects without the use of taxpayer money.
Yesterday, the White House contacted my office to inform me that the President had signed into law H.R. 1454, the Multinational Species Conservation Fund Semi-Postal Stamp Act of 2010. As I've shared with you many times, this couldn't have been possible without the help of you and your team from Tigers and the Rare Species Fund. Whether by traveling here to Washington, D.C. back in May to testify on the bill before the House Committee on Natural Resources, or by most recently returning with your animal ambassadors to talk about the value of private conservation, the work you've done was essential to our success.
The Rare Species Fund is proud to be on the Conservation Council of the International Conservation Caucus Foundation and has participated in such events as the U.S. Presidential Inauguration Gala and the inception of the Conservation Council of Nations.
Today, there are 3,000 tigers left in the world. Tigers may likely go extinct in less than 20 years. We hope policymakers will recognize the contributions made by private wildlife preserves. Private facilities such as Tigers in Myrtle Beach perform functions which most public zoos cannot. In particular, they preserve genetic diversity by breeding rare varieties of tigers. These beautiful animals in turn stimulate public support for conservation efforts.
For the past 3 decades, my great joy has been watching the organizations that we support grow and blossom. And there's a direct connection between their success and the memorable interactions that happen between the visitors at Tigers Preserve and our resident wildlife. There's something unique about being in the presence of tigers and other beautiful creations of nature. It's an experience that can transform the way you see yourself and the world around you.
The Rare Species Fund is able to conduct its international conservation projects as a direct result of educational programs conducted at the Tigers Preserve. These programs are also changing the world's hearts and minds about wildlife, one guest at a time.
My staff and I invite you to come visit us in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Discover for yourself the excitement of helping to preserve these magnificent animals for generations to come. We're here at Myrtle Beach Safari, the only place in the world where you can see tigers running at full speed. This is a unique opportunity for these animals. They get to get out and have a great time running and playing. It's also a fantastic place for our guests to see the tigers run and for you to get to see it on video.
What you are about to see, you will not see anywhere else on planet Earth. Tigers running at full speed. It takes companies like National Geographic years in the field to capture the footage that you're about to witness. Doc Antle has always thought the most striking image of any wild animal is the image of that animal in motion. He wanted to create a program where people could come and watch our animals in all their beauty and power, running, all out running. The only problem is, how do you get a big cat to run on cue every time? Over years of trial and error, we've tried many different methods until we found the perfect solution, a high-speed lure system used to train hawks and hunting dogs. To this we added our very own creation, the hybrid Moppelope. That's the one thing we found tigers love to chase.
My job is to get the tiger out and bring him to the launch site. Then they communicate with each other. They say, is the tiger ready? They know it's there, and I release the tiger and let it go.
My job during the run is to bring out the Moppelope. I take that Moppelope, bring it across the yard, and then I need to get the tiger's focus. I focus that tiger on the Moppelope, throw that Moppelope, and the tiger's off, down the yard.
My job during the Tiger Run is to control the lure machine. That is a very complicated thing. It's like a high-speed video game where you're trying to make that lure just be a couple feet off the tiger's face. You're 100 yards away and that tiger's moving in at 40 miles an hour.
Doc wanted to create a program where we could entice our cats to run. It's great enrichment for them, and just like us, running is very good for their health. Just imagine you're one of these tigers and every day someone comes to your room with a silver platter full of food. How many of us would even get up and go to work? Tigers are the same way. They naturally sleep 18 to 22 hours a day. The only time they ever run at top speed in the wild is when they're on that kill. So, here in captivity, we come up with new and exciting ways to keep our cats in top physical condition.
I'm China York. And I'm Moksha Baidi. We're here acting as security and backup for the Tiger Run.
I'm here at the end of the Tiger Run where I call the tiger's name, make eye contact with him at the last second, and give it its reward of beef for a job well done.
When that tiger gets to the end of the run and gets to the beef pan to get its reward, I have to throw down that button that controls the lure and switch over to the leash to hook that tiger up.
Once that tiger takes off, I chase it down the yard. Once it gets its reward, a piece of beef, I get to reward him with some refreshment, a baby bottle full of milk.
I'm the stage manager for the Tiger Run. It takes 6 people to get this run to go perfect. And I need to make sure that all of them are in place and that everything goes smooth.
The ability for a tiger in captivity to get out and run full speed, have the adventure of chasing after a prey, even though it's a Moppelope, is still an incredible piece of action for them, a great enrichment. It's a great opportunity to have this Tiger Run and have all these animals that get to enjoy it.
Seeing a tiger run is an awe-inspiring experience. It helps illustrate the absolute raw power and the phenomenal grace and agility that these big cats possess. It also has the transformative effect of making people care about tigers and inspires them to want to save the tigers. The running tigers you just saw in this video are helping to save wild tigers by bringing attention to the Rare Species Fund Save the Tiger, Save the World project. The Rare Species Fund has created a bracelet made out of 100% recycled material that says, "Save the tiger, save the world." Every one of these bracelets that we sell allows us to provide a solar-powered lantern to a villager living in a tiger conflict area. The simple act of providing a family with light not only exponentially increases their quality of life, it makes it so these people do not need to go into the forest to collect firewood, and they are not coming into conflict with tigers. We are saving the people and saving the tigers.